What is up, Mission Pro Wrestling family? What is everybody up to tonight? We are back. Another exciting
Hey,
edition of MPW Unmatched with my best host from the West Coast, Trenda Magellan. What's up, Trenda?
hey, for real. I almost feel like I've missed something, like something was missing in my life. Like I don't know, I've missed our Thursday shows together. It seems like it's been a long time.
Feels like it. Oh man, so we're gonna talk about all the cool stuff going on in wrestling tonight, but we definitely wanted to share maybe a few behind the scenes moments and just our overall experiences in San Antonio from this last weekend at True Colors. I talked a little bit about this on a mission with Veda and Emily, but I brought slideshows this time. I brought pictures, so
Awesome, awesome.
but my throat is still hoarse, like so much yelling. It was
Yeah,
such an
yeah.
exciting show.
I still feel that way too. Like I'm still trying to recover from, everything with the show and still itching.
It might have been because of the barbecue and the cigars, but who's to say, right? We
You
don't
know,
know.
yeah. Definitely had some great barbecue. Just to put
Oh,
that out there, it was some great barbecue.
awesome. It was so good. And our good friend Neil, I think he was up to 5 meets that day, so that's a good
He
thing.
was literally between the mac and cheese that had, I think, pulled brisket and sausage inside. That in itself just lets you know where we were at. So yeah, definitely like comatose with the meats. Yes, it was great.
100%. Well, the chat is lighting up already. I see Tony. I see John. I see the
Ah,
man, the myth, the legend. I see my lovely wife, Mrs. Front Rose, in there. Serena, Walker, Stewart, Walker, killing it on commentary as always. Thank you, Walker.
hey Walker.
Here he is. Man, the guy's just doing an unbelievable job on commentary. Every show, just killing it. Such a great voice, so knowledgeable about everything that's going on. Really, really cool. So a couple of things. I wanted to we're not going to do a full match breakdown because Veda and Emily and I did that on Tuesday, but I just wanted to get
Mhm.
your opinion on a couple of the highlights. So let's dive right in with. I wanted to get your thoughts on our main title match, Genocide versus Jasmine Allure, and I felt like Jasmine had a different energy this past weekend.
Um, for me, I paused. I thought you were actually going to put up a clip.
Oh no, no, I don't have any clips. Sorry,
But for
it's on title
me,
match.
this match was so exciting. Jasmine came there with a purpose. She came there with a purpose, and the way she started the match off with just diving down on genocide and just making her presence known that she was here to become the next Mission Pro World Champion. And honestly, there were certain points and times throughout the match that I thought it was going to happen. I was so um even to the point where I was rooting for her almost, even though we know Jasmine is who she is, but the way she came in with that vicious vixen type mentality, like I'm here to show people that I'm just as good as everybody else here. And you guys have been ignoring me for quite some time. We had some issues before with her and on previous shows, and not really vibing well with her teammates, and kind of being her. But boy, I would have bet my bottom dollar during that match that she was going to be champion. I really would have.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. And right, that match started hot with Jasmine attacking Genocide on the outside, um, ruining her amazing Pride wingspan. Like that, her
Now
wings
that
were.
that
So
in
cool.
itself is something to talk about. It was just beautiful. One of the many highlights of just seeing the show was watching how all the ladies came out with their pride tattoos representing Pride Month, and showing their true colors, and just, just representing. That was an awesome thing. Speaking of representing, I am wearing some merch I bought at the show, my MJ Santana shirt. I'm wearing this week one of the many items that I bought from the talent, and I'll be wearing a couple of more of my shirts throughout the next couple of shows. So shouts out to MJ Santana.
Awesome. And I agree with this sentiment, Serena. Indeed. Um, I'm wearing my bougie reality shirt because I did not buy a new shirt at the show because I was running around talking to people and meeting fans, and we were doing setup and breakdown. So much happened that by the
Yeah,
time I turned around, it was over.
it was
Which is fine. Um, we were sporting our Mission Pro Pride shirts all weekend, which was cool. And
definitely,
again,
definitely.
shout out to my wife for getting those made because they were a big hit and in San Antonio this weekend. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So let me actually, I think I may have a picture of that. Here we go. Here we are.
Awesome.
There's
Our family
representation for you.
photo.
That's our family photo. Yep, that was
Awesome.
awesome. And I shout out to everybody who worked so hard on the show this weekend. We had a whole bunch of volunteers working on setup. I think even Izzy was blowing up balloons at one point and doing banners, and
And
y'all were and
ripping
and and
tape, ripping up tape with our, with the bare necessities, but we got it together and it had a great show. It was an awesome time.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it is one of those things where you're there for a few days and everything just kind of goes by so quickly. You're busy. You're going to barbecue. You're going to the show, going to set up, and then there's meetings and there's all kinds of stuff going on. And then all of a sudden you're back home again, and you're like, well, what happened? Like, where'd the weekend go?
Yeah, yeah. I had a fabulous time. Can't wait till the next time I'm in San Antonio.
Oh,
So,
speaking of merch, we had a merch team. There's our merch team,
hey,
and Mrs. Front Row. But I believe she was taking this photo, so she's technically in the photo, but behind the camera. Yeah.
we were
It-
the merch team. We were the merch team. Yes, yes. So we did sell quite a few of those Pride shirts, and had quite a few requests for orders of some. So
mhm.
yeah, I'm really proud to be proud.
Most definitely. But I want to go back to the match just because I wanted to talk a little bit about the aftermath. And on commentary, I had a chance to finally go back and listen and watch the show because, of course, when you're there, you don't hear commentary. And go back and watch the whole show as a viewer from home. And um, Izzy did talk about how she was sort of disappointed in Jasmine's attitude, but she wanted to still reach out and show some love and friendship. And we
Yeah.
did see her make that attempt,
Hmm.
and Jasmine turned on her, and there was a beat down. And in the moment, it was shocking. It was okay. Izzy's a guest of ours. She's here on commentary. She's 16. She's working hard. She's training, but she's not an in-ring competitor. And at that moment, and to see Jasmine just attack her unprovoked was horrifying. But there was a touching moment that came out of this, and there was a little girl that ran over to comfort Izzy, and here's a picture of her, uh,
Oh,
and it was a special moment, very special
yeah,
moment.
yeah, it really was. So actually, I was sitting along, the aisle, and I,
Mm,
I was able to see everything up close, and I was waiting for that moment. I saw Izzy, reaching out to Jasmine, and I saw that moment, and when they hugged, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like,
mm.
Jasmine and Izzy, like the best friends. She gave her a bracelet, and it was like, oh, this is awesome. And then, pun intended, Jasmine showed her true colors. Like at that moment, I everything you could hear a pin drop in there. Everybody was so just boggled about the situation. They just couldn't understand what was going on. And then all of a sudden, she's beating up on Izzy, just beating her and beating her, and then and she walks off with this little kick off, with her heels, as evil as she is. And the cutest this little girl gets up out of her seat and tries to come and help and hug and cater to Izzy. And it was just there was not a dry eye in the place. Everyone was literally crying. I mean, it was the cute, like it was the best thing in the world. Like you couldn't have gotten any more motivation to get up and get yourself together and then make that little announcement that she did, other than having a fan sit there and tell you that it's okay and that you can do it. Like it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Like it is too cute.
Yeah.
Like
So a couple of behind the scenes moments we'll share with you guys. Like I did get a chance to go talk to Aiden and her family afterwards, and she is as adorable as she seems on as she looked on screen. And I walked over and I said, "Are you okay? Thank you for supporting Izzy." And I held my hand out for a little fist bump, and she punched my hand as hard as she possibly could.
yeah, she did.
Boom. And I was like, okay, you need to get in the ring because ow. But but she leaned over and she said, someone needs to arrest Jasmine. I said, yes, I agree. We should definitely arrest Jasmine. She was so
But
sweet.
if you watch the show, because of where this little young lady was sitting, you could see her and her enthusiasm throughout the whole show for every single match that was on. So she is sitting in the aisles and she just has so much opinion and enthusiasm and spunk and just like you said, just fearless. Exactly. Thank you. Thank
Mm,
you. Just fearless. This little girl made the show even more enjoyable, just seeing how much she enjoyed it at her age. It was just fabulous. I love her. I love
yeah,
I
and it
love
was cool. It was cool because after the show, we did get a chance to catch up with Izzy and check on her, make sure she was doing okay. But we talked about how we met Izzy when she was 8 at an NXT show. She was a little girl. And now fast forward, she was a Bailey super fan and all that good stuff. Now fast forward, this young girl is now Izzy to Izzy's Bailey. Like the moment was so surreal and so
yeah,
perfect from that perspective. It was just really, really cool.
just real full circle at that point in time. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. Like you couldn't have written this down.
Yeah. So so then the last thing I will say is, Izzy did say on the microphone that she had waited 8 years to say this, but she was challenging Jasmine to a match on August 12th at Boiling Point, and it looks like that's going to happen. So um, I'm super excited to see that match. I think Izzy's bringing a lot to the table, and if you get a chance, go look at our socials from today, either ours or Izzy's at Izzy Mania. It's Izzy Mania, and she posted a video today, and it's for real, for real. She shows, her journey of being a fan up until deciding she wanted to be an in-ring competitor, and the training and the martial arts training, and she does MMA and CrossFit and all this other stuff. So um, no longer is she a super fan; she's a serious competitor. So her debut will be in August 12th at Mission Pro. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be
Yeah.
really.
I think
Um,
it's something that we all been waiting for quite some time. Ever since at least for me, I heard Izzy, on Busted Open, being just a young, I think like 14 years old, just giving her opinions and calling in and saying, what who and what she was and what she believed in, which was,
Mhm.
being a Super Bailey fan, and now to see where she is now. um hey, I can't wait to see her in ring debut, and Jasmine better look out, because Izzy is not playing. She is not playing, and you fired up a girl who is hungry, who is new, and who has something to prove to herself and everybody else. So that is a dangerous combination. So hey, I oh, and I got a new Izzy
You
friendship
got a
bracelet.
bracelet?
I got an Izzy friendship. You didn't get one? Izzy didn't get.
No.
Oh,
She
oh,
did try to stick a balloon to my forehead,
oh, okay. Well, I
so
mean,
I
that
got that.
probably counts, or in some form, or somewhere. But I got an Izzy friendship bracelet, so I'm rooting for my friend Izzy.
All right, maybe I have to purchase one. I'll see. I'll see if she has some merch shop up or something. Um,
Um,
but speaking of debuts, we saw, I think one of the most talked about matches of the night was JP Harlow versus Black Swan, and
yes,
man, there was this match was highly anticipated. Debuting with Mission Pro is a big deal for a lot of people, and Black Swan was just, and here's a shot that I got from ringside. She was
gorgeous,
unbelievable, just
gorgeous.
and the chat on Tuesday night, the interaction on social media, in the room, I don't think anyone could have asked for a better debut. But what were your thoughts on Black Swan's performance?
Wow. So, I actually had a chance to talk to her, and I told her directly that this match was so awesome for me, because she has a gimmick that no one else has, and that I've never seen before. So just to take it back a little bit, like, I took dance in college. And it wasn't definitely not ballet the way she does it, but you take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We had hip hop, tap, but ballet was one of the things that we had to do. And I watched this young lady, excuse me, in the ring, and how she bent her toes and her feet back with this perfect posture. And if you know anything about dance or taken a dance class, every single pose that she did was so on point and so professional. And at the same time, she got to kick JP Harlow in the head. Like, it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Like, it was just so amazing to me. I love her gimmick. I love how she looks. I love the things that she's doing in the ring. Like, this girl has something special. I just want to see it in her personality. She has this great personality, and she's not scared to speak, and like, this girl has something. I cannot wait to see her in the ring again. But this was one of my favorite matches, and honestly, I wasn't expecting too much, because men's revolution and what and all that stuff. But oh my god, did she hold her own, and just every pose that she made, in addition to kicking JP's butt, was awesome. I love it. I love it. One of my favorite matches of the night.
Yep, agreed. Same. And I think that was true for a lot of folks based on the feedback that I saw pretty much everywhere. So very, very cool. Hopefully we'll see her in a Mission Pro ring again soon. Um, so let's switch gears here for a second. I want to talk about some of the bigger news, some of the big news that came out of wrestling this week. It was hard to catch up with everything because we were,
Yeah.
in San Antonio this weekend. Uh, but a lot of cool stuff happened. So over on the WWE side, they did rename the women's titles to align with the men's titles, which I know is kind of confusing, but honestly, like, I think it makes sense. So you now have Asuka as the WWE Women's Champion, and Rhea
Mhm.
Ripley is the Women's World Champion,
Women's
which
world.
lines up
Mhm.
with the two men's titles, which fine. And the new titles that both the men and women have, the actual physical titles, I
Yeah.
think are a big upgrade. I think they're much classier.
Oh
They
yeah.
look like championships.
Rhea's title is something nice. I looked at that like, now that's something I might think about purchasing, depending on its lifeline. But it
Oh,
is really nice. It is a really nice title. But You have a women's champion now, and then you have a women's world champion. Okay, so no more Raw, no more SmackDown. Yes, we're making it make sense, and thank God they didn't just say, "Hey, you take this one and I take this one, and let's just go." So I'm with it. I appreciate that. I'm with it.
Yeah, and I mean, even better, we had Charlotte Flair come out to challenge Asuka for that title, like the return of
Hey,
Charlotte. I'm
hey,
never gonna complain about a Charlotte and Asuka match. Just
hey.
every week, just fine. Keep them coming.
Some of the best stuff we've ever seen, and something I can watch over and over again. I mean, you heard Charlotte. I am the line. This is the match for me. However, it did seem a little. I mean, you stepped on Bianca, just kind of. We don't know what's gonna happen with that, or when, and if she's gonna get a title shot at this point. If it's gonna be Oscar, if it's gonna be Charlotte, but boy, is the queen dominant.
I
Very
do
dominant.
I do have to just go back 1 second to this comment from Neil. Also seeing is sitting on the aisle watching King B's beat down Boss Disdains. And it was
I have some great photos of this. I did a whole little TikTok of the whole event for this past weekend. So I have some great photos and moments of this past weekend with Mission Pro, but especially beating down Bays. That was the best part.
I think the funny thing is that I have it on good authority that moniker may have stuck in his daily life. So uh, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So a couple other things happened that I find, I tend to gravitate towards women who have come through Mission Pro and sort of what they're doing. We always talk about all the big things that people in all the big companies are doing. And Becky Lynch defeated Chelsea, and then
Mhm.
Chelsea Green, and we saw Zoe Stark. And Zoe Stark has it's a sink or swim situation when you're thrust onto the main roster from NXT,
Mhm.
right? A lot of people
Yeah.
don't survive that transition, and Zoe's killing it. She's just bringing the fight, and I think it's a perfect place for her. Someone who went from the independent scene, she worked her way up, worked her way to NXT, killed it in NXT, and now she's in a program with Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that, but
Hey,
she's not shied away from the moment at all.
no, and speaking of not shying away from the moment, the promo that she did, hey, like you said, sink or swim, and she definitely did not sink. Let's just put it that way. Like, she's out there going toe to toe with Becky Lynch in front of probably more people than she's ever performed in front of, and God knows how long. I mean, this is Raw. This is way more people than the NXT scene. And then they give her a microphone, and not only give her a mmicrophone, they trusted her. What did they give her? At least a good what? She had a good 5-6 minutes. Like, that's trust. That's
Yeah.
that's trust right there. Not having Trish on her side to kind of, feed her back and forth or whatever. They gave her that microphone, and she did a great job, even as a heel, dealing with the audience, trying to heal her off. I thought she did a great job, and just as a talent altogether, she's gonna wreck some stuff. The raw women need to look out. She is gonna wreck some stuff. She is so strong, and she hits so hard that they need to beware. If they allow her to be who she was in NXT in that ring, then they need to beware.
Yep. And talking a little bit about titles too. It looks like the women's tag titles are being unified. We saw Alba Fire and Isla Dawn in a confrontation with Ronda and Shayna, and there's a unification match coming up, which I think is
Mhm.
interesting because when Isla Dawn and Alba Fire were brought up from NXT, they retained their NXT Women's Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
So what we don't know yet, or I don't know yet, what that means. Maybe something was said that I didn't see, but what's going to happen if there's a unification match? Is there just going to be one set of WWE Women's Tag Team titles? Because that's the way it used to be before they introduced it the NXT titles. Are
Yeah.
they going to create another NXT title? I don't. So I'm not really sure. Maybe they're just minimizing how many sets of titles there are out there, which is fine as long as the champions tour the different shows. Then I'm cool with
So you didn't miss anything.
it.
You didn't miss anything. They're just gonna do this unification match, and only thing that boggles me is like, why even bring the titles up if you're gonna unify them? I mean, bring them up as champions, and then I'm just guessing they're gonna lose the titles. I mean, so at this point, um, having one set of women's titles, no, I don't think that's a bad idea. Again, like you said, as long as they're able to just maximize on each show. If they're willing to go to each show and defend on NXT, on Raw, on SmackDown, that'll be awesome. Because really, we really don't need all the extra 19 million titles like the men have. Like, so it'll be more competition. They're putting a lot of stock into the women's tag teams, building them up on SmackDown and Raw, and then, like you said, bringing up from NXT. We saw two come up from NXT, so yeah, just to have one set of tag team titles would be awesome. And just let them all fight for it, and just build up these women as tag teams, and not for a short period of time, but really let them get into it, and fight for it, and like the tag teams are where it's at. Like, they're really great, and
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to seeing, hopefully, that they continue with the women's tag team division. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of a touring champion. So even though all three shows are under the umbrella of WWE, I like seeing a champion, or in this case, champions, going on all three shows, accepting challenges, whether it's an open challenge, whether they go to a pay-per-view, and maybe they're on a takeover special, and then they're on, whatever, SummerSlam, or I like that idea a lot. As long I'm not mad at having less titles as long as the champions are seen in different places. So because
Yeah.
then it still gives the same amount of opportunities to the different people on different brands, right?
Exactly, exactly. So I think it's great if unify the belts, and I guess have Ronda and Shayna beat up and dominate everybody. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. But we've also seen main roster stars more and more on NXT lately.
Oh,
Seth
yeah,
Rollins. Seth
yeah,
Rollins was there. We saw Dana Brooke is made her an appearance there. There was even a video package for her, and she had a
yeah.
backstage segment.
Seems like
Um,
she's gonna be a fixture. Seems like she's gonna be a fixture for a while, Dana Brooke. Yeah.
I've always liked Dana Brooke. I the thing about her is I haven't really seen her grow as a performer. Like, she's kind of been the same for a long time, but that's
Mhm.
not bad. It's just, and honestly, like, I think her run as 24/7 champion, like, that's the only title that she's won in WWE, and she's been there for like a decade. And it was a big deal, but she made it important. Everything she did with it elevated that. As silly as that title was, she made it feel like it was important. You know what I mean? She was probably
It
the only
probably
champion who
was
really did that. It
probably was
was.
important to
Yeah.
her at this point in time. But what I can say is, watching her on NXT, she looks great. She slimmed down a lot. She's not as muscular. She has more of a feminine look going for her right now in NXT. And I don't know if it's, kind of the fit more so within the women that are there and the young ladies that are there, but she looks good, and I'm looking forward to see what they do with her. Like, hopefully she can get a great NXT run. We've seen a lot of people come down from main roster and go into NXT and just kind of, build themselves up, and become something really special. So let's see what they do with her.
Yep. Yep, it's gonna be interesting. So, again, like the WWE Women's divisions on all three shows for me are they're killing it. They're doing all kinds of interesting things, and they have some of the top performers in the world on those rosters right now, including in NXT. Um, but let's talk a little bit about AEW. I tend to be more critical of AEW because I have high expectations. Um, our very own Thunder Rosa was a champion there. She's killing it on Spanish commentary right now.
Yes.
We have no idea when she's going to return to the ring, but there's been the advertisements for the new show Collision, which we'll talk about in a moment. But on this week's Dynamite, Tony Storm did defeat Sky Blue,
Good.
and so I want to get your opinion on the match, but I have to go on my complaint. I have to go on my rant and my elder rant,
Okay.
right?
Okay. I'm ready.
Um,
Wait. Okay. Okay.
this
Go.
is this drives me crazy because every week at 9:23, 9:25 is the women's match. It goes for like a minute or two, and then they go to commercial break, picture in picture. They come back, the match wraps up. Every match ends the same way with a run in or interference. And this week was no different. It was the exact same thing. We saw Ruby come in and attack Sky, and then Willow came in to make the save, which set up for the collision. Sky Blue and Willow versus Tony Storm and Ruby, which is a great match. I'm looking forward to the match.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing every week. They've got to give us more story with the women's division. They have so much talent there. Please give us better stories.
Yeah, now that I totally agree. But what I can say is this match was actually very good and very interesting. For a women's match on AEW, it held my attention. It has some very good keynotes in there. I'm a Sky Blue fan. I've been watching her for a while. So, seeing her there, seeing the interaction with her mom, it has some different moments and yes, the reoccurring time every time every week at the same time we're throwing the women in at this time. But if we just for this one
Mm,
week put that to side, I was very happy to see the opportunity that Sky Blue had to be able to show her talents and to step in there, and she stepped in there and didn't and was not a pushover in this match. And I was proud that they gave her that opportunity to shine in this match. So yeah, that
yep.
I can say.
No, I agree with everything you just said. I just wish that they were doing things a little bit differently, but the opportunities are there, and some of the best people are on TV.
Yeah,
I did want to go to the chat real quick and address this. Do Mission Pro Wrestling have women's tags team? Okay,
you're
so
wearing.
real quick, right? So and maybe Patrick doesn't know, and that's fine. That's we're here to help, right? I'm wearing the shirt of the Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Bougie Reality, Maddie Rinkowski, and Rush. Now, Maddie Rinkowski is also one half of the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions. So yes, they do get booked all over the place, and by the way, they win a lot. So uh,
Very popular. Very popular.
yeah, check out Maddie's side character videos. They're hilarious. I
wait,
think she had on.
wait,
I
wait.
believe she had
You're gonna say it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
this week's episode. She featured Yuki, who I believe is Camille's fur baby. Like hilarious, just so good.
I'm like, she's interviewing the dog.
No further questions. It kills me every time.
I can't with her. Like she has my vote. Whatever it is she's doing, I need to see it. Like she's killing it.
See, Neil knows what's up. They literally win all the time. Miss Reality, Maddie Rankowski. Oh, I wanted to mention one thing. I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. It was really important to me because someone I think who continues to make a huge impression and just makes statements every time in Mission Pro is Tiffany Nieves. And I took this
Yeah,
picture. I just wanted to share with you guys. This is before the match. This is how serious she was. She was
yeah,
all she had a plan. She was hyper focused, and I'm really interested to see what happens in August. So anyway, I didn't want to close the show without sharing that picture because I
yeah.
like the picture.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that a little bit, when she came out, you can feel the air change in the room. Like she was there for destiny. Like this is mine, and I am not gonna lie, I was one of the people rooting for Emmy. I was one. I was over there in the corner, just But boy, and again, what I do agree, as I said before, I think match of the night. I think these two women went in there and they both gave it their all, and at this point in time, the best woman won. So gotta give it to her.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really like fair
And
and square. I mean,
she's still gonna get her title shot opportunity. And I didn't say it was fair. I
but
just
is
said,
there an asterisk there?
is there? Is that gonna stop her from getting the title shot?
No, I guess by
You're
any
not,
means, I guess, by any means necessary, right?
hey,
Do what you
hey,
got to do. Um,
that's what
just
Holiday would say.
yeah, that's true. That is very true. Uh-oh. My wife is not a fan. Boo, Tiffany. Yeah, we're big Emmy fans as well. You know, I think Emmy was gonna win that match, but that's okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
So lots going on. There's pay-per-views coming up. There's just all kinds of stuff going on. The tickets for All In at Wembley Stadium are just through. They're crazy. I think they're almost 70,000 sold now, like 68 or 70,000, and
yeah,
that's insane because that's still like 2 months away.
yeah,
So I'm excited for that. That's a pay per view I'm definitely going to get, and I'm going to be interested to see what the reactions are. The crowds in the UK are always like energy to the moon. So with that many people in one stadium for those matches,
definitely.
it's going to be cool.
Definitely. I think what they've only advertised what the two matches so far, two,
Hmm.
three matches so far, but who cares? I mean, it's almost sold out. Like they're trying to figure out where they're gonna put chairs. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh, they'll
really,
figure it out.
I'm definitely gonna see this pay per view, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, but lots of ground to cover between now and then. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun summer. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. It was another fun episode. Trenda, anything you want to plug or anything you want to share before we go?
Just want to say I had a awesome time this weekend with all the talent and all the staff, and just for the first time really being kind of behind the scenes and seeing how the ring is put up and broke down and what goes into the production and all the things that people do to just make Mission Pro work. And it was awesome. So I really appreciate being a part. It was a great time. I appreciate my merch co-worker Neil and my bro. We had fun this weekend, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time we're all together.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. And so just to remind everybody, we have sponsorship opportunities open for the next show. Our show August 12th, Boiling Point. The matches that we've seen already that have been advertised as part of the show are going to be a lot of fun. More news, more videos. Stay tuned to our socials. You can email us for sponsorship opportunities at Mission Pro Wrestling uh, at Mission Pro Wrestling at gmail.com, or you can check us out on missionprowrestling.com for all of our other socials and merch stuff. So I am PW Front Row on all the socials. You can find me also on Saturday nights on The Nation's Corner with my crazy co-hosts. We'll be having a fun show this week, I'm sure, at 7 p.m. on YouTube. Follow us at Nation's Corner on Twitter and all the socials. Trenda, awesome show. Thank you everybody for joining, and we will see you again next week. Bye.